That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
Chris, what's on your laptop?
I mean, look, I have no idea what the hell happened in New Orleans yesterday.
Right.
Falcons win. Saints were monster favorites. Let's talk about New Orleans here. If they make the playoffs, assume they do, they will not have a first-round bye.
Well, looks like I'm not going to say that yet. New Orleans and Green Bay don't play each other, which is a huge hole in the schedule, but it's just the way it worked out. So there's no head-to-head there. Everything's in division from here on out, which is unfortunate for them if it's going to be tougher.
Except for San Francisco.
And outside, and then then there's two AFC South games home for Indianapolis. We're assuming that Brissett will be back for that at Tennessee, which is we've just seen is a tough place to win if you're bringing an MVP quarterback there. And then there's a San Francisco game at home in Week 14. They win that one. That's an overreaction. There's still so much football left to be played, and as we all know, and this is what made your 2007 season in New England so remarkable. Every single time we see on NFL Network the annual documentary America's Game from our friends at NFL Films, and we hear from three members of that championship team. It's not all like, hey man, that was great from start to finish. That felt like I'm as fresh as coming out of the shower right now. There's always adversity, bumps in the road, turns in the road, however you want to use the analogy. This is just one of them for New Orleans. And just add this one to the list that we were talking about last week of how did that happen? Jets over Dallas,
Browns beat the Ravens.
Browns beating the Ravens the way they did. There's just a lot of them like that this year, so that's an overreaction.
All right, great win in Dallas yesterday by the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are the most dangerous team in the NFC.
Well, if Dalvin Cook can keep going like that, then I will put them in that category. I want to see what they look like tonight, meaning San Francisco and Seattle. Man, I can't wait to sit down there. And Green Bay, you go in Lambeau and try and win in the snow. Good luck with that. But what I'll tell you about is the toughest team in the NFC is not out of the East. Man, I chose the Eagles prior to the season to win that division, and I'm still not giving up. Not yet. Dallas, way too inconsistent, man. Just way too inconsistent. It's definitely not coming out of the East. That's an overreaction. What else?
Okay. All right. AFC West now. Oakland Raiders just a half game back. Let's do it. The Raiders are going to win the AFC West.
Overreaction. I'll just move on that. Don't go anointing anybody to use the Mayock phrase. But I did say they're going to be 10-6 and make the playoffs. I just didn't say how. Did I? I just think
Chiefs
the
have major flaws, man.
They have flaws.
At defense.
All they got to do is come out with that win in Mexico City and come out with that win that would essentially eliminate the Chargers, who would drop to 4-7, would need to win out to go 9-7 and make a playoffs that we assume somebody like Buffalo or the Raiders or the Colts once Brissett returns, or the Titans. Don't forget the Jaguars, what they may look like with Foles. That would eliminate the Chargers, I think, at 4-7. They go 7-4, come off their bye. Let's get their line, offensive and defensive, have been banged up. I'm not ready to say the Raiders are going to win the AFC West just yet. That's an overreaction. What else do you have?
The Miami Dolphins. We're looking at the
break them up, man.
We're looking at the 2020 NFL Draft. The Dolphins won't have a top 5 pick.
Great one.
They are currently 4th.
The Dolphins still have games. They're home against Buffalo. The Fitzmagic revenge tour continues at Cleveland. By the way, it's just like guys started for 8 teams, so at some point half his schedule is going to be a revenge tour. Odds are they're both at the Jets and the Giants, so they just hang in New York for Stephen Ross to just chill out and see him. Home for Cincinnati at New England. I don't know. You might be right. I'll give that one the check mark.
Your current 2020 NFL draft order is this: Cincinnati, Washington, the Giants, Dolphins 4, Jets 5, Falcons 6.
Yeah, bro. You might be right.
Cleveland, Tampa, Denver.
You might be right. Somebody with 3 wins could sneak in there.
Yeah.
right now. The way that the Dolphins are winning
Who
football
are they going to
games.
draft? There's going to be no quarterback.
Just again, tanking in the NFL is not about the players and coaching staff. It's about the front office not providing them the ammunition on a game day. And Brian Flores with back-to-back wins. I told you Fitzmagic is contagious. The number of times he got out of a sack to just step forward and move the chains.
I don't know how he does it, man.
He's amazing. And what just to go down a little bit of a wormhole, did you watch that game a little bit?
I mean, just what was on Red Zone.
This was what I've never seen this before. Fitzpatrick gets blown up in the pocket. They wind up kicking a field goal. They're up 16-12.
Oh, and then they took him out of the game,
They're
right?
up 16-12. Then the ensuing kickoff happens. Then Hoyer throws another terrible interception. I mean, just awful. I have no idea if it's not him and his receiver on the same page, but he airmails one, throws it right to Miami. Fitzmagic comes running out on the field, and they stop play because in between, I believe, the kickoff and the Hoyer interception, CBS showed the replay of him getting blown up in the pocket, which caused the neuro eye in the sky to buzz down to say, we got to check him out.
Oh, my gosh.
And Brian Flores went nuts, and they're like, rightfully, if you thought he got blown up, we kept him in the game. Then you had our field goal. Then you had the interim commercial break. Then you had our kickoff. Then you had one snap of Hoyer throwing an interception. What's gives? I've never seen that. And Rosen had to come in for the series.
I saw that Rosen was
but
in.
the interception was so bad, it allowed Miami to be close enough on that spot to kick another field goal to go up 16-12, and that's how they lost Indianapolis, because they needed a touchdown and not a field goal because Vinatieri missed an extra point.
Vinatieri's done, right? He'll retire after this year?
I don't know. I can't say he's done because he did win one from 50 yards out a couple weeks ago, but he's more inconsistent than we've ever seen him.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.